Lions fans, what's going on? It's day three of the NFL draft, and the Detroit Lions are making some movement. Currently, we've added two players. We still have two seven-round picks left. It is currently still the sixth round for one more pick, and that's the Denver Broncos. But in the meantime, the Detroit Lions have added some pretty interesting picks, right? First, um, we add Frazier out of LSU. I mean, absolutely huge guy, man. Big guy, big beast. Um, you know, I mean, this is a guy that just does not allow sacks on pass down. So, like I said, it's that consistency with the Detroit Lions, what I was talking about when they look for offensive linemen. So, um, we continue to, complete that offensive line for not only now, but the future. And that is absolute positive thing to see from Brad Holmes, to just finish out the offense like he's done over the last couple of days. So, but like I said, we get a big beast, man. Uh, he's a dog. He's an absolute dog. Now, the surprise, which I kind of have forgot about, but I remember watching the combine and seeing him going back and forth with some of the instructors out there. He was barking back at him, you know what I'm saying? Just dog. I'm like, man, this dude is a dog. Like, who is this dude? That's when I first started doing my research. I could never say his last name right, so I just say Hassan. I'm not even trying to say the end of it. I don't want to switch Jesus' name, but Ahmed Hassan, man, that's where we going right now. Man, went viral a couple of times. You're talking about a guy out of Egypt, you know what I'm saying? Didn't have the access that some of these players have growing up to play football. He was born here in America, and he left at 6 years old, and all he knew was English at that time, but he still is a absolute dog beast, man. He's raw. He is raw. He has to learn some football technique. He got to get some go-to moves, but he's a dog. He's a dog. He's a player that's easy to work with. Obviously, we all wanted a starter at edge. That's not the case this year. There's still avenues for the Detroit Lions to go and do that. So we'll wait and see what Brad Holmes does, right? But in the meantime, as far as what we taking and trying to find some diamonds in the rough in the later parts of the draft, this guy is very possibly one of those guys who can turn into one for you. Because one thing he does know how to do is be nasty out there on the field. And I tell y'all all the time, the things that I like when I look at an edge rusher or an offensive lineman in the trenches is number one, nastiness, and number two, ass whoop. And he got both of them. You know what I'm saying? He got both of them. So that's easier to work with. I remember when Hutch first came here, Hutch didn't really have go-to moves like that. He didn't have the spin move, wasn't established yet. So, like I said, these are all things that you can learn as a defensive edge rusher, man. Just to add to that nastiness that you already have. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, I did not expect us to draft him. And then like I said, you turn the film on with Frazier also. Frazier is a big beast, man. So yeah, Frazier is what, like 6'6", 6'7"? Like that's the second guy we done added that big, because we still got, Manu Giovanni. I mean Giovanni Manu. I always say his name backwards because it sounds better. I don't know why, but he's still, in his development stage. So, like I said, it'll be interesting, man, to see those guys one day in the future, if things pan out for them and have those two big giant dudes on your offensive line. That would be fun to watch, almost like, a creator game or something on Madden. But, like I said, he has a excellent story. We're going to take a quick look at some of his story. While I got you guys on here, we'll watch it together. It's on the Rich Eisen show, which I watch religiously because he always has some great guests. And Rich Eisen, obviously, is a fan of the Detroit Lions. So And we're going to take a quick look at that. I'm looking back and forth at this draft board. The Lions probably about a good 10, 11 spots away right now. But obviously, you know, a lot of teams have been moving up. So keep my eye on that at the same time. Here we go. Let me cue this up for y'all right quick. And boom, and boom, and boom.
About Steph Curry going from a kid from Davidson splashing on the scene and then becoming one of the all-time greats. And we just love stories like that.
Yeah.
You know, and in terms of that, you know, I'm always interested in bringing you some stories that you may not be familiar with. And I became a bit more familiar with this young man's story at the Combine, certainly in preparation for it. And then he had me at hello when I saw him barking back at some of the coaches on the field that were trying to get the prospects into it. This young man needed no such prodding. He was giving it right back, and I loved it. And I'm like, you know what? At some point, I'd love to meet him on the program, and that moment has arrived. From Boise State from Egypt by way of Boise State, Ahmed Hassanein is here on the Rich Eisen Show. How are you, sir?
Good, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great. Did I pronounce your name right? Because I heard about 15 versions of your name's pronunciation at the Combine.
Exactly.
Yes, sir, you did.
Okay, terrific. Thrilled to meet you. Man, I don't even know where to start with you, but let's start with how you first became aware of football, Ahmed.
That's a great question. So I'm from Egypt. I'm not from here.
Mm-hmm.
I was born in the United States. I left when I was 6 years old. I left with my dad. And
think about that for a minute. He's from Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Think about the ways that he had to find, you know, to be athletic over there and to, like I said, to create the dog that he is today. You know, that's not as easy as it is for us growing up over here in football land.
And I left my older brother, Corey. We're half brothers.
Mm-hmm.
He stayed with his mom. I left with my dad to Egypt. I only spoke English back then. When I went to Egypt, they only spoke Arabic. So I did not speak any Arabic when I went to Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
But 10 years go by. So I learned the Arabic language and I forgot all the English when I never practiced English for 10 years.
Right.
And I was like 6 years old. So I grew up in like Egypt and the Egyptian tradition and stuff. Did not know anything about football. Couldn't speak English. But kind of sports was the big thing in Egypt.
Mm-hmm.
So I did CrossFit, I did jiu-jitsu, I did judo, I did ping pong, I did soccer, I did basketball. I did everything. But what I was really good at was CrossFit. And I was like ranked top 10 on Africa, number 1 in Egypt in the CrossFit games in Egypt. But didn't know anything about football or spoke English. But I had a little bit of like a memory of like I can understand a little bit what people are talking about, but I can't say what I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And went through a lot of hardships in Egypt. This is why sports kind of was my outlet. And I felt like culture and I felt like an energy in sports that's like in like no other sports. So 10 years go by. I was struggling. As a young kid. And at that time, I suggested to my dad, I was like, you know what? I have the American citizenship. Why not just send me to America? I want to go to a military school in Riverside. It's called in Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
It's called Riverside. My cousin went to it and he turned out to be like, have that discipline to wake up at 6 a.m. to follow instructions. I was like, I want to be like that. I want to have that lifestyle. At that,
you know, explains why he's a Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell type of pick. You know what I'm saying? I tell you all the time, I joke all the time, and I say that you pretty much got to be Captain America for the Detroit Lions to come and draft you. But, you know, learning that discipline is a great thing. Like I said, you don't have to worry about any issues or anything like that from a young man coming from that type of background. But like you said, he had to find ways like CrossFit and even ping pong, bro, to keep himself active, man. He didn't know nothing about football, man. So, you know, I'm probably sure everything that's in him is naturally part of his DNA. If that dog in there is just there, you know what I'm saying? And to have that knack to just want to do something, that part right there alone is what some players just don't have enough of in this league. So, like I said, we'll see.
That time, my brother Corey, we never talked in 10 years. We haven't spoken to each other. He was playing semi-pro football in Austria. And he was visiting Egypt. My sister bought him a ticket, and he was like, you know what? It's been 10 years. You haven't seen the family. You haven't talked to your younger brother. Come visit. And he needs you. And he came and visited, and he saw me, and he was like, suggested to my dad and told my dad, why are you sending him to a military school? I'm a high school football coach and an English teacher. And my dad was like, that will work out perfect. It will save me a ton of money. And then he was just live with you.
Sure.
And he was like, okay. So I moved to the States in 2018 in August with no English. I did not play any football. I didn't know. I just knew about football, that people were running and hitting each other. That's all I knew. Somebody throwing the ball and catching the ball. That's all I knew. And my brother played the wide receiver. He coached the wide receivers. And that time I was like 200 pounds, 190, 6 foot. I was very small, but I was very like lean. So a wide receiver type of body. And my brother was like, okay, we're going to try him as a wide receiver and see if he can catch the ball. Couldn't catch the ball. To try him as a linebacker. There's just too much stuff going on. There's people moving everywhere. So I was like panic attack. So these just put me in the D line and told me to go get the guy who has the ball. And I was always
Yeah, we can pull that down for right now because it's pretty long. You guys can go and watch the rest of it. Let's take a look at the phone call from Brad and from Dan Campbell when Ahmad got I keep calling him Ahmed got drafted.
Coach, I would die for you, Coach. I just want you to believe in me. I just want you to believe in me, Coach. I would die on that field for you, Coach. I promise I would.
One of your talks right now were
yes, sir.
199 and things of that
Thank you, Coach.
4 o'clock local hour when Congress number by. I took credit on my homework because he started out.
You go to the line.
In the 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Ahmed.
All right, so there you have it. That was the moment, man. You know, like I said, special moments. Getting that phone call. Yeah, great story. Great story. But let's talk about the football side of things. Boise State, right? You know, like I said, 33 tackles for loss, 22 sacks over the last 2 seasons for Boise State. To me, that's pretty much of a, you know, that's kind of a steal to draft him at that position. He should have been gone earlier, but, you know, a lot of teams probably said, hey, he's a little raw. That's my dogs in the background, somebody at the door. But that's pretty much a steal at that spot. Like I said, that's production. And that's what Brad Holmes says. You know, like I said, when they watch film, they want to see consistency. They want to see production. You know, the attitude and everything else is one thing, but they want to see production. Put this up here for y'all. Boom. There you go right there. Appreciate you, Phantom. I seen you tag me on Twitter as well, man. Trust me, I was all in. I was all in. Yeah, I know. It's supposed to say draft, but you know what? Let me fix that too, because y'all be coming for me, man. I got a D for the F. I was typing fast trying to get on here. Let me live. But yeah, like I said, appreciate that for bringing it in for me and tagging me on Twitter, being Dion. Like I said, I don't know if Dion is back home by now. He might still be there for the third day. But like I said, this guy, I really got a good feeling about him. I really got a good feeling about him. I'm not saying he's going to come and break out and just be a starter, you know what I'm saying? But as far as the rotation, he's going to be a guy you can throw in there that's going to cause a problem. You know what I'm saying? Something like what we've seen from guys like Muhammad when he got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Muhammad, when he got in the game, he was productive every single time for the Detroit Lions. And that's why he's still around here. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's going to be one of those players for us. You know, in the beginning, he's raw. He's got some work to do. He got some things to learn. But at the end of the day, I'll take it. I'll take it. A lot of football for him to learn. So on the other side, Frazier. Frazier. Let me see. Let me pull this up real quick. Just a big beast, man. Just a big beast. I know that Hank Fraley is going to have a great time teaching these guys from what they added to the offensive line. But Mike Frazier is a giant, and he ain't just big for no reason. Let me see if I can pull up his RAS. Mike Frazier. And all this is live, so y'all got to just bear with me because we just literally got the pick. Yeah, like I was saying, we got a third round type of talent in the draft at that position. I still don't know how he fell down to that far, but there we go. Boop. All right, I'm going to just let y'all come and scroll Twitter with me. Let's do that. Bam. All right, let's take a look-see. Thought this was that play where he drove my man into the ground. All right, here we go. Out of LSU, man. Started 50 out of 54 career games with 27 starts at right guard, 11 starts at left tackle, and 10 starts at left guard, 2 starts at right tackle. So, like I say, he's moving around the line. That's typical Detroit Lions right there. Somebody else first. You can come in. Come here, buddy. I'm live. You can come in. You're the woman of the hour. Come here. It's all right. We just live, just talking about day 3. It's not that type of stream, right? But if you just look at it, man, like I said, 579 pass blocking snaps without giving up 1 sack. Just a QB hit. No sacks. That's typical Detroit Lions right there. So, like I said, we all just got to sit back and just be at all with this offensive line, man, because the size and athleticism of it is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, crazy. Absolute yes. Stud. You hear me? Stud. You talking about, you know, I can hear, for the Pistons fans here, I can hear Stan Van Gundy's voice say, build a fucking wall. Excuse my language. But that's exactly what we do over here in Detroit. That offensive line is man, it's nuts. You know what I'm saying? So now where players are going to play is going to be the interesting part. I see a lot of people on social media talking about let's cut Ragnow and do all of this, and then let's just be quiet and just let the Lions just do what they do. Players like Ragnow, question, how much longer is he going to play? You know what I'm saying? How much more football are you going to get out of him? Obviously, guys like Taylor Decker are on the decline side of things because of injuries and things like that. He's getting older, man. So he's right on time for that. Yeah, like I said, we're drafted for the future right now. So, you know, obviously Graham probably is going to go to the bench. He wasn't, you know, having the greatest season last season, but yeah, Ragnow is a player that may retire within the next couple of years. He was thinking about doing it before last season, but he ended up having a good season last season. But in a couple of years, he might end up retiring simply because of the amount of attrition that his body has been through. The injuries are piled up. You know, he's a man's man. He's a nature guy. But, you know, that's all fine. But, man, at some point, your body just says, hey, listen, I need to sit down, man. I need to sit down. So back to Miles Frazier, man. Like I said, earned an 88.0 from PFF pass blocking in 2024. Like I said, it's at 23 years old, 317 pounds, at 6'6", that position. To be productive like he is, to have this type of stat sheet in front of you, it just says, how the hell did he make it to the 6th round? You know, how the hell did he make it to the 6th round? A lot of offensive linemen went in this draft too, but how did he make it to the 6th round? You know what I'm saying? So we always have that one player. Remember when we took Brian Branch? It's like, how the hell was Brian Branch still there at that point? You know, it wasn't as late as this, but it was like, how is he still here? 300-pound edge? No, we talking about Mike Frazier. We talking about our new guard, man. No, we talking about our new guard, man. Our new edge is around, like, I think if I'm not mistaken, he was around 267. That's Ahmed's weight. Oh, he proposed to his girlfriend after that. That's dope. That's dope, man. That's dope. Yeah, like I said, just a great story. You know how the NFL is, man. They love great stories. NFL loves great stories, man. Especially foreign great stories. That's just how sports work out. Yeah. Yeah, so like I said, I still think guys like Zadarius Smith are definitely in play as far as adding a veteran. Brad Holmes is putting all of his marbles in the basket, man. Yeah, there you go, 271. He's putting all his marbles in the basket for Davenport, which is a dangerous game, but like I said, it's not like, you know, I mean, you don't want to be in a situation where it doesn't work out again, and then it's like we scrambling trying to find somebody to be dominant off of that side. That's the thing. So that's why I truly do think guys like Zadarius Smith is still on the Lions' mind. And if you're going to have Davenport, you probably want to have Zadarius Smith to rotate in with them. So that's him plus the young guys. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. But, you know, I do have a few concerns still with this team. One thing that I did want the Detroit Lions to look at, I still feel like our linebacker room is not fast enough. You know, I know we had, you know, went ahead and brung, you know, Derek Barnes back. He's probably the most athletic out of all of those guys. But, man, I just watched the Bears go and get Colston. You know what I'm saying? I just watched the Bears go and get Colston. And, you know, these teams, they're preparing to beat us. And we can't just sit here and, you know, act like they're just going to keep lying down for us. That's not what's happening here. And that right there is one of the concerns because he is getting older. He is getting older. We all love him, but he's getting older. So that was one of my things going into this draft too, man. I wanted somebody athletic enough that you can drop back or put down on the line and rush or whatever you wanted to do. And we just didn't add that. So I just hope it doesn't come and bite us in our behinds. Let me pull this down. Bite us in our behinds, man, because, yeah, these teams are making moves. They're making moves. Like I said, there's a lot of arrogant Lions fans, they see a post about what the Bears are doing and like, oh, the Bears, oh, boring, this, that, being childish. In football land, that doesn't work. You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, this team, they coming for you. You know what I'm saying? I always said the Bears was about a year behind where we were. And they trying to play catch up. And that's exactly what they're doing. And if you don't pay attention, you're going to mess around and let them catch up and catch you. It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem, man. So, like I said, they're better. Their draft ain't trash. They don't do that. It's not trash, man. Like I said, they added offensive line. They added – I don't ever call Coastal Loveland trash. Me as a Michigan fan, don't ever do that in my presence again. No, their draft is not trash. Let's be adults about it. It's not trash. It's going to be a tough team to face. And that's the team that you're going to have to face and beat for the division. That's the team that you're going to compete with for the division right there. Like I said, you got a young and a rookie quarterback over there with the Vikings, even though Sam Howell is over there. It's Sam Howell, bro. That's the team right there to watch out for. Yeah, that's crazy. It's not even – I don't even care where he's drafted. He's a beast. He's a beast. And you got to be a halfway Michigan fan saying that because you should know better. They added some offensive linemen. They added some offensive linemen over there. Pre-draft, and they added an offensive lineman in the draft. Yeah, Golden. Yeah, they added their own J-Mo. Yep. I just don't like Love, though. I just don't believe in Love, man. I don't believe in Jordan Love. I don't. Yeah, that schedule is fucking ridiculous. To even think that is wild. You're going to have to. You don't have to, bro. They paid him too early, and yes, he's overpaid, my dog. Yes. Yeah, the schedule, man. It's tough. We playing the premier of the premier. You know what I'm saying? Them quarterbacks that we got to face. Yeah. So there's always going to be the question there, even though he's getting frustrated with the media, constantly asking, you going to add a rusher? Are you going to add a rusher? They constantly asking him if he's going to bring back Zadarius Smith. He's getting frustrated with it, but they're going to keep asking him that because they're trying to point it out to him, like, bro, they're trying to help you. You know what I'm saying? It's like because if things don't work out and you can't rush the passer the way you need to win games, they're going to bury you. They're going to bury you. I don't care how good you drafted before. When this team loses, all of that goes out the window. Yeah. And like I said, Loveland, man, you have to look at the situation too, man. You got to look at the turnover before his last year, the turnover of that Michigan team. Yeah, it ain't like he had the best quarterbacks throwing at him. And it's not like he played for Michigan tenure where they actually throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So we threw the ball sometimes. Well, he get the ball a lot over there with Ben Johnson. I can guarantee you that. A lot. So That's your assignment for our linebackers right there, because they're going to leveling us to death. I said last night 11 games, and they thought I was being tough. Yep. I think right around, like I said before, 10, 11, 12 games is what's going to win you the division. That's what's going to win you the division here in the NFC North. That range between 10 and 12, somewhere there, is what's going to win you the division. All the 15 and 2 days, that's gone. Schedule is too crazy. But geared up for the playoffs and getting ready for the playoffs is the main thing right there. Making the playoffs is one thing, but my expectation is past that right now. Nothing, no type of turnover or changeover in this roster makes me more concerned than the fact that, rushing the passer and the fact that we have two brand new coordinators. So hopefully, things can continue to go as they should. Hopefully they even go better than they did. But we still have two brand new coordinators. And to me, we still don't have enough dominance up front on the D-line. So that's going to be the story going into the summer and to the camps and everything else. I can't wait to go to summer camp, to training camp. But, like I said, until then, that's going to be my concern. Unless, somewhere around that June 1st area, we bring back as a Darius Smith. But in the meantime, that'll be my concern. Seeing what type of offense we bring, see what Shep can get out of the defense, and what we have. You know what? I see a lot of y'all engaging in the comments with the numbers. Everybody in the comment section, put your number. How many games do the Detroit Lions win next season? Let's see something right quick, if it's in between that range. Because I've been seeing on Twitter, on social media, Twitter is a huge place for Lions fandom. I've been seeing 9 and 8. I've been seeing as low as 9 and 8, bro. So put that number, the realistic number, in the comment section, man. How many games do the Detroit Lions win with that schedule? Matter of fact, let's pull that schedule up. Let me pull the schedule up. All right, let's see. I mean, y'all ain't got the graphic. I don't want this. See, that's why I don't like going to NFL.com when it comes to just give me the damn. Let me see. Do they got it? I want y'all to just be able to see the. Okay, we'll just do this one. This one is good enough. We'll do this one. All right. We bring y'all over. And share my screen. Boop, there we go. All right, Lions 2025. Home games, man. Home games, right? We got our typical division games with the Bears, Packers, and the Vikings. But then we got the Cowboys. The Browns and the Giants, not so much. Cowboys, Steelers, and Tampa Bay. Those are the three right there. 1, 2, and 3 outside of our division that we need to be focused on. Cowboys, Steelers, Buccaneers. The Giants and the Browns still got a long way to go before they can beat the Lions, man. But when you look at the away games, you got the Commanders, the Eagles, the Bengals, the Ravens, the Chiefs, and the Rams. And I don't know if y'all been paying attention to what the Rams been doing, but they've been quietly doing some things over there in this draft. That schedule, that away schedule is atrocious. that is, you talking about putting a team through the ringer? Like, come on, man. Come on. The cockiness and the arrogance gotta go out the window. It really does. Because you look at these quarterbacks that you get ready to face. I don't need to say anything about the Commanders, right? But then Hurts, Burrow, Lamar Jackson, obviously, man, Pat Mahomes, and then Matthew Stafford. Yeah, we don't know who we gonna play when yet, still, but hopefully we play some of these guys in the latter part of the season, and they teams that suffer some injuries or something, because that's tough. That's tough. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. I know we're going to beat some of these teams out of this bunch right here, but this 6 right here, from the Commanders down, that's where majority of those losses may appear. Right there in that area. Yeah. Those probably going to be like, I think we can beat the Chiefs, though. You know, like I said, the Chiefs just ain't. I think we can beat the Chiefs. I think we can beat the Rams again. The Ravens, though, I think we can beat the Bengals. I think we can get the Bengals. But the Ravens and the Eagles, we ain't beating the damn Eagles. And you know, the Commanders know our recipe. You know, they're going to see a different team, obviously. Hopefully, I'll say hopefully, because we won't have more than half of our defense missing. They'll see a different team. But like I said, if we can't get to the quarterback, we can't get to Daniels, it's like, what are we talking about? It's going to be the same situation where the offense just did whatever that they did. You know what I'm saying? Whatever they felt like doing, they just did to us. Yeah, so, yeah. Yeah. It's going to be interesting. Definitely going to be interesting to see what the Lions can do. The pick is in for the Detroit Lions right on time. Let's see where we at.
One of the first days.
Don't go on Twitter and get to cheating. Let's just let it be authentic, man. It's the 7th round.
That's what kids should do. They should be outside. They should be playing. They should be running. They should be forgetting about any.
We played the Ravens pretty well in the past, besides that freak kick that they beat us with. But we don't have Aaron Glenn no more. We got a defensive coordinator that's, totally different now. So I don't know, if we'll still play them that well. Like I said, it's the crapshoot that you take with new coordinators. Some coordinators, they know how to get at certain teams. So we have to do that all over again.
Donates more and more every year.
What the hell? It said the pick is in for the Lions. What was the pick? I got to go to Twitter. Gosh, dog.
There. Mark Lowry, the co-owner of the Timberwolves, who are up 2-1 on the Lakers. He donated again. He has been part of this run for quite some time. Steve Tisch of the Giants, he received an email today asking for funds. He immediately donated.
Did we trade?
And
we traded? That what happened?
Again, NFL Network. Jim Fabio of True Blue Creative for putting that together. Carter of our staff.
Oh, Dan Jackson. Okay. All right.
Everybody. I know I'm forgetting some.
My bad.
Tracy Perlman of the NFL. And you, Charlie, you're
so we took in the 7th round. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Anyway, back to what I was saying. That schedule is tough. We better be ready at the end of the day. At the end of the day, I don't even know who that is, man. I did not watch any UGA safeties as far as film. So I don't know how good or if he's any good. I only watch offensive line and defensive line when it comes to the tape and the film during the offseason. So said he fast and run a 4.4 and a 40-yard dash. Obviously, we lost Melifonwu. So yeah, at some point you probably had to get a safety, but I'll do my own research before I say if he's good or if he's whack, and I'll let you guys know in that video. But yeah, in the meantime, career 4 picks. Okay. 15 missed tackles. No, don't tell me you got a safety that don't like to hit, man. So what's my grade? My grade overall in the draft, Jay? Is that what you're asking me? Is it my grade overall? I'm gonna just say it anyway. My grade overall in the draft is without taking a pass rusher early. It probably would be, somewhere around a B plus. The fact that we didn't take a pass rusher early, it drops it to a C plus, B minus for me. Like I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I wanted a pass rusher early. I wanted somebody to come in here and be a part of that starting rotation type of guy. But I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't like the players that we picked. Williams is a beast. Frazier is a beast. And the project at receiver that we have, I think he could really turn out to be a problem. Like I said, with his speed and athleticism, 91st percentile. His athleticism is different. You know what I'm saying? So I would probably say somewhere around a B minus C. That's where I'm at. I'm not going to sit here and give you the Kool-Aid. That's not what it is. I wanted an edge rusher, and I mean that. So that's me. That's my personal opinion. What's y'all grades? Put your grade down there in the comments. What is your grade for this draft overall from the Detroit Lions? I'm right in the middle. Right in the middle. I'm not excited, but I'm not totally down either. Okay, Kiana, A minus, like, come on now. Come on now. I'm not even gonna let this slide. Like, this here is like, I know I asked for your grade, but still, this is yeah. I don't know about no A minus now. Come on now. This ain't even close to the best draft class, and I'll bet you my paycheck on it. Like I said, y'all gotta understand some of these players that we did draft. Yeah, they're good players, but they're gonna come in the door raw. Yeah, things change all the time. Things change all the time. I get it. First couple of drafts, I had some complaints too, so I can't even really go off of that. I'm still here in year 4 complaining about edge rusher. I can't go no higher than where I went. $11-6 if they stay healthy. I think that's realistic. No, I just think Brad Holmes is tired of people being on his ass. That's what I think that is. I don't believe everything GMs say. They say certain things, you know what I'm saying, to manipulate what you think. I don't believe everything they say. I don't think he was trying to trade up to get no damn edge rusher. Shamar Stewart, huh? Maybe. What up, though, Marvin? Where you been at? And why do you always come in at the end of the stream? Every time. Huh. I don't think. See, here's the thing. Y'all keep misinterpreting this thing. Nobody complained about Gibbs, the player. Nobody did. They complained because they felt like the Lions should have been aggressive, just like they did for J-Mo. Note that, right? Something that he's known to do. They complained because they felt like they should have took Jalen Carter, who wasn't on the board, plus made a trade up to try to get Gibbs, who you probably could have got because nobody else was thinking about pulling the trigger on the running back that early. I don't care what Brad Holmes said out of his mouth. So that's what people were pissed about. And then, like I said, they kind of felt like you reached for Jack Campbell. You know what I'm saying? That's what the beef was about. It's never about the players. It's not. It's where we be taking them, and he gets impatient and aggressive and won't admit it, and he trades up to get players when he doesn't have to, just like he did yesterday. That's just what it is. So that's the mindset of the people that were upset. The mindset of the people that with the Tyleik Williams thing, same thing. They felt like he would have been there right where the D tackles went yesterday, right in that middle area of the second round. They felt like you could have got him there. You could have traded up in the middle round and got him there and still had a edge rusher to start. That's the gripe. That's the beef. So the Bills had told Tyleik that if he was at 30, they were going to take him. And that's where people get that from, which every NFL team tells players that all the time and end up not taking them. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. We've had players on this team that I watched in podcasts say that teams told them that they were going to get taken and they didn't get taken. It's all posturing, man. All the time. Up, down, left, and right. Up, down, left, and right. Boy, they be lying to these young players like crazy. Yeah, you're at such and such. We're probably going to take you. Go a whole different direction. Shit, ask Terry Arnold. Ask Amon-Ra St. Brown. How many times? Ask, who was it? Panay Sewell, if I'm not mistaken. Somebody else I seen from that offensive line said the same thing too. Let me see, man. So I got some introductory press conferences to watch. I got some stuff to do, you know what I'm saying, before I put out this final video. Also got a little bit of analyzing to do for these guys in the late 7th round. Like I said, Dan Jackson is not a player that I had the opportunity to look at. So before I come on here and talk, I need to know what I'm talking about. Getting tagged again by my man Phantom. Yeah, I got to see film. I can't watch no highlights. I got to see film. Tendencies, things like that. Like I say, he's just a depth guy to add to the safety room, obviously, because we lost Iffy, and so that's the typical. Would you be quiet, Marvin? You come in here with the shenanigans. No, he didn't. Stop listening to him. Don't ever listen to Marvin. Ever. He lives to do what he's doing right now. My phone would have broke if we did something like that. But in the meantime, though, like I said, we probably be dropping that final video tonight. So either look for that tonight or early tomorrow morning, while you get ready for church. But in the meantime, I hope y'all, y'all have a good day, man. I'm tired. It's been a long 3 days. It's been a long 3 days, man. Oh, my God. Let's try to see if I can find a hint on who they was going to try to take for this last pick of the 7th, but nothing before I get off here. I just don't want to, I just bring it up in the last video. And what is y'all giggling about? No, it's not, Kenyatta. The man got a 5th year. They picked up his 5th year option yesterday and said the man ain't going nowhere. That was established the other day. So stop lying. Y'all go find something to do. I'll see y'all later. Peace.
What up, though, YouTube? We down here off of Griswold.
Wow. Black on shoe stuff. Culture. My culture, though. Let's see what they talking about in here.
What's up, little dog? You good? Y'all got something in here for me? I'm talking about exclusive.
They got all the dunks? How many dunks they got?
Something like these. Y'all got a little vibe in here.
They buying shoes, selling shoes. It feels like the culture. They dunking on people. Oh, they doing TikTok. They looking out for the kids. Oh, man, this is great, man. Oh, they got all different races working here. It just really feels like culture.
Looking for a black-owned shoe store to get some real drip at? Come up here to Culture Detroit, man. That's what the streets been missing. Welcome home, fam.